Good morning and welcome back to Big Mouth. So welcome to the minas show. This is the show where we've got so much to talk about and I haven't got the time to make about 6 or 7 videos. We're going to do it in one. So let's do this. We're going to talk about a Supergirl movie. Wow, I'm so pumped. We're going to talk about Black Mask being the villain in the Birds of Prey movie starring Margot Robbie. We're going to talk about David Battista versus Disney, and we're going to talk about my club, Manchester United, and how it's in freefall under Jose Mourinho. And now we've got the situation where Barcelona have offered 2 players and 50 million for Paul Pogba. So let's start with Manchester United really quickly. It's been a terrible pre-season. You know what I think. I basically feel that Mourinho will walk around October, November time. I think we're going to win a few games. I think this could be the worst season in the club's history. And you have to look at the board and say, look at your managerial appointments. Moyes, 10-year contract, that was totally Sir Alex's fault. The board trusted him. He let them down. It doesn't matter if he's well, dead, alive, not well. I don't care. He was to blame for that one. Love you, Sir Alex. What you did for our club was amazing. Our club would be nowhere to where it is in its wealth and its power if it wasn't for you. But that was a mistake. Louis van Gaal, from the outside looking in, he was doing well at Holland. He was a great choice. But the club, the board, the chief executive, the Glaziers, should have looked into him deeply, because even players were warning about how he falls out with players, how he treats people, how he's a little car. But they didn't. In terms of Jose Mourinho, we all kind of ignored the elephant in the room, if you like. The elephant in the room was that he's a very negative manager. He plays negative football. He creates fights when there isn't fights to fight. And we've seen it. We were just interested in his record, in his trophy record. We wanted that at Manchester United because we missed it since Sir Alex had left. Now, basically, we all know we were going to struggle after Sir Alex had left. 25 years at one club, run by one man. It was going to be a struggle. But we've never even attempted to go for the right choice, whether it's the board or Sir Alex or us as fans. So I think we can all kind of bow our heads in shame, but the sooner Mourinho is gone, the better. And that's how I feel about the whole situation. Now, for happier things, let's talk about Warner Brothers developing a Supergirl movie. Yes, at long last. I've been wanting this since I saw the 1984 movie. I love that movie. I think that Helen Slater was a brilliant, likeable, adorable Supergirl that we all fell in love with. Some people say it wasn't a good movie. I enjoyed the movie. I loved the score. And I can't wait for this movie. I don't expect this movie to be anything like that movie. You know, you're talking about, 30, 40 years on or whatever it is. It's going to be different. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. The 21 Jump Street writer, whose name I can't pronounce, will be developing the script. That's really exciting again. Now, people are putting 2 and 2 together and making 5 as usual and saying, because of this announcement, Henry Cavill will no longer be playing Superman. It's something I've kind of suspected for a while. I even did a video about it a few weeks back. It wouldn't surprise me if Henry no longer plays Superman. I love Henry as Superman. I think he looks the part. I think he's a fantastic actor. But in a lot of ways, because of what happened with the people running it, people like Snyder, Terrio, Goya, because of what happened there, I think the die has been cast with his Superman, if you like. And what they did with Superman in Justice League, even though the idea was right to make him a more positive kind of Superman, it was kind of so rushed because they didn't have long with Cavill, by the way. And this was the whole problem with the reshoots. And that's another problem we need to discuss, because now we're hearing not only did Snyder want to kill off Dick Grayson in Batman v Superman, he wanted to kill off Cyborg's dad. Cyborg's dad, right? He wanted to kill off Cyborg's dad in Justice League. Now, These are the things I think that scared Warner Brothers. This was supposed to be the colourful one, the optimistic one. And you want to kill off Dr. Silas Stone. Go in the comics. You'll always see him at the labs working on something. He's a great help to the Justice League. I love Snyder. I love the DCEU and what they did with BVS and MOS. But I wouldn't stand for that. And I certainly wouldn't have stood for Dick Grayson being killed off. So I would be, look, it would be sad if Cavill is replaced. But I just think the job that Walter Hamada is doing right now is fantastic. And to know now that we're getting a Supergirl movie is awesome. Now, will the new Superman be introduced in this Supergirl movie? Very interesting. I think so. So, if Cavill is being replaced, the theory of him being in Shazam and Aquaman and kind of appearing in all these films won't happen. I think we're going to hear things very quickly about Cavill. He's officially got one film on his contract. It could just be kind of something that is we may see him in a post-credit Aquaman scene. Who knows what's going to happen? But sooner rather than later, we're going to find out what's happening with Affleck. We're going to find out what's going to happen with Cavill. But it does look like that Walter Hamada is trying to slightly move away from the DCU. Look, he isn't going to say those things never happened. But, you know, this is a new era. Justice League was the line that was drawn and said, enough is enough. We need to make films that everybody likes. Great example. We now know that Black Mask will be in the Birds of Prey movie, which is awesome. Now, I only know this villain very faintly, so I kind of Googled him, and he's got an interesting backstory, actually. His parents were obsessed with what people thought. They were wealthy, so they started hanging out with the Waynes. Black Mask, originally, before he was Black Mask, was friends with Bruce, which is very interesting. But when he kills off, in one of the versions of his history, he actually burns his parents alive. There's no way of identifying him. He's got no fingerprints. So he's a very interesting character. So this Birds of Prey movie sounds very exciting. But by the way, before we keep on applauding Margot Robbie for this decision and the director, was it Angela Yang? David Ayer was doing this when he was in control of this movie. So forget all that. But ultimately, this is a Walter Hamada decision. And I think what Walter Hamada is doing with this franchise now is beyond the MCU, because what he's doing, having a two-tone franchise, DC Light, DC Dark, the Joker movie, what he's trying to implement with the DCEU, we're hearing now with the Supergirl movie as well, is an ambitious, massive project that could have you 6 DC films a year, 3 from one and 3 from the other. It's very, very exciting when you hear of actor kind of run projects like Birds of Prey as well. It's extremely exciting. And last night, when I first read the Supergirl news, because many of you who know me know I cannot stand the Supergirl TV show. So it's very, very exciting. Finally, let's talk about David Battista versus Disney. Right, this is simple. Disney don't care what David thinks, right? Look, I applaud his loyalty. He's been loyal to his friend. I personally wouldn't have sacked Gunn over his historical comments. They are below the belt, but at the end of the day, he's not a paedophile. He hasn't committed a law. He said some really, really things that go against the grain, but ultimately, he's not saying that he approves of paedophilia or anything like that. But ultimately, he's a director. He's a talented director. He's made Disney a hell of a lot of money. Now, from the Disney shareholders' point of view, they're saying, listen, we are a family brand. Now, are you telling me that nobody at Disney and Marvel Studios knew of the jokes he had told in his historical tweets or whatever these things were? Of course they knew, but it wasn't in the public arena. So they thought, they didn't care, did they? But as soon as it gets in the public arena, we don't want to be aligned with someone like this. Well, you were aligned with him for 2 films, and the other films he helped develop as well. Yes, James Gunn was involved with Infinity War, with his characters, the Guardians, and their involvement. and he's been kind of involved with other MCU films on the quiet as well. So he's a very talented man. He's committed no crime. That's what we've got to remember. Battista has to be applauded, but they don't care what Battista thinks. Battista says, I'm only doing it because I'm contracted. But if they don't use James Gunn's Guardians 3 script, I'll quit. What are Disney going to think about that? Quit then, mate. We don't care. I think without James Gunn, you've just got to forget about Guardians 3. It will be a disaster. Even if you make a great movie, everyone's going to say it's shit because James Gunn didn't do it. The best thing to do right now is quit the Guardians thing. Let it go. Maybe use the characters, even if they want to be, if the actors still want to be involved. I think they're going to have to just forget about the Guardians situation, kill them off in Avengers 4. I don't care what you do, and move on. Because if you're not going to bring Gunn back, it's not worth having that universe. He didn't create the universe originally, but he created the film universe. He's the one who did it. You can't do it without him. Maybe 5 or 6 years' time, you can come up with another way of doing Guardians, but I think just let it go because it cannot work without James Gunn. So very interesting, lots of great talking points. We will talk later. If you want to see more videos, just take a selection. They're all fun. Press the bell, press subscribe, and tell everyone about this channel. Please, please, please. Movies TV Mad on Twitter, The Mick Minas Show on Instagram, Mick Minas on Facebook. Give us a follow. We'll speak again. Keep it DC.